Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I just repotted this Dendrobium phalaenopsis orchid. No ID. This is a no ID Dendrobium phalaenopsis orchid. I repotted this one about 3 months ago after I moved to a new location, and it was also in semi-hydroponic setup. The only difference is that it was in pure hydrocorn, which is what you see at the bottom here. It's just basically bigger leca beads compared to the monto clay on top. And it's not, I can tell from the foliage and the way that it's growing new growth, it's just not doing very well. So I actually want to unpot it just to see how the root was developing. And the reason I wanted to also unpot it is because I did not see any new roots coming out, or all the way around I could not see any new roots. And based on the growth that I'm seeing, I feel that there was no root, and I was right. For the past 3 months, there was no new root developing, even though it was still growing me a couple new growths. They are a total, I think, of 3 or 4 new growth that came out. But, very strangely, no roots. So, obviously, it did not like full hydrocorn beads. But I know that I have seen many people have success with dendrobiums in semi-hydroponic setup with leca beads. So my theory with this particular case is that it did not have good root system to begin with. It had a couple roots, okay roots, but as it was adjusting to the leca setup, it just didn't do well. They didn't do well, so they died off. And also, because if it's just the leca, and because this is a plastic cup, it was very, very flimsy, right? It wasn't sturdy. And in order for dendrobium to really thrive, you really have to provide stability. And back in Asia, most people grow dendrobium, if potted, they use rocks, pebbles, and charcoal. And then they basically layer on, just on the very top surface, they would lay a thin layer of live moss that you see on wood, or, they put a layer of moss on it just to keep additional moisture. So that tells me that the roots really need good drainage, but also needs stability. Obviously, if you hang your dendrobiums growing downwards, yes, there is some stability, and then in addition to the gravity pull, then the plant itself would think that it's secure. But in my previous setup, in this cup, but also in just pure hydrocorn, it was not liking the environment. It wasn't adjusting well, number one. Number two, I believe there was not enough stability for this plant to feel secure enough to push out new roots. Anyway, so the new setup that I have done here, we have a couple of things here. So I thought I would go over some of these things to share with you my thoughts. Number one, as you can see, at the bottom here, I want to have as much reservoir as possible, and because hydrocorn is the size of hydrocorn beads are bigger, so I use that at the bottom. And then after the drainage hole, I begin to pretty much use monto clay pebbles to provide better stability and also more weight. There are still some hydrocorn beads within this layer here and there, but I would say 80% monto clay and 20% hydrocorn beads for this layer. And here is pretty much just pure hydrocorn. So that way, I'm hoping that there would still be some wicking effect, and you know, I will have a lot more water that can evaporate up, right? And then this layer would give me additional stability and allow allow really good drainage. Now here you see there is a green tie, a twist tie. And that's because this plant actually has two division of plant groups, and I really want to provide additional stability, so I tie them together, and I also added a stake just to make sure that this plant now feels secure, that it will continue to grow roots. And when I unpotted this one, it basically had only like 2 small roots available, so I basically trim off everything. So now this is you can actually say that this plant actually does not have any root. So we'll see how it goes. And then we have a mini project. This one actually was part of this plant. From the color, you can tell that this is a older king of this particular plant. But it also has 2 more smaller suitable, so this is a very old part of this plant. It just came off, so I figure I would put this one in just pure monto clay and see how it does. If it pushes out new growth, great. If not, you know, I wouldn't be worried about it. And the reason I also added the little clip, and I actually learned this from Rick's one of Rick's video, and you know, this is my first time making this type of click his way, and it actually is awesome. So basically, I'm just trying to give this one again stability and then really good drainage, and it's just pure monto clay, so there's weight. But then if I want to water it, I basically just put it in, let it soak until whenever, and then I take it up, let it drain, and then I put it back into this thing. And because I collect rainwater and I don't like to waste my rainwater, so this is what I do to make sure that there's as little evaporation as possible, and this is just for this particular plant. So I can double dip, triple dip, quadruple dip, and you know, and after a week, 2 weeks, and then I will switch out the water. So that's kind of how I do some of the project plants, and you know, it's been working. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted on this mini project. If this one doesn't grow, fine. I won't even stress about this. But if this one grows, yay, bonus. Now, might as well talk about this one. This is one of my Tetraspis, and 2 weeks ago, I started to seeing some minor pitting on the leaf, so I suspect that there is some kind of minor spider mites. It was very minor, but just to be safe, I'm actually soaking it in a Azomax solutions. I believe it's a type of neem oil, but it's better. It's less oily, I guess. I'm not sure, but I just want to show you because this particular orchid is in a cup, obviously with no drainage hole and just sphagnum moss. And this one actually has really good roots, and it actually has a couple of new leaves coming out. But you know, I just thought that this is kind of funny or convenient because it's in a cup. So I basically just poured the solution, let it soak for 1, 2, 3 hours, and then I would drain this really well. And then I would just put it under my coffee on my coffee table in my living room, and have my ceiling fan on to you know, let extra moisture evaporate overnight, and that way, you know, this is one treatment, and I will continue to give this one another 2 to 3 treatment just to make sure that there is no pest infestation. Right now there isn't. It's just minor pitting, but I kind of want to stop it from the very beginning. Anyways, I just want to kind of let you see what I have done with this one. Sorry, I did not do a proper follow me step-by-step repotting video because there has been on YouTube there's so many repotting videos, so I thought I would just do it and then share my thoughts with you on why I am changing the media or repotting this one the way that I have done it. So I hope you find this video, informative in some way. Alright, I will talk to you in my next video. Take good care of yourself. Enjoy your orchids. This is a great hobby. Don't stress. And I will talk to you next time. Ciao.